Hello and welcome again to another day of classes. Today we're going to be continuing with the rest of the Unit 9. In the previous video, in the previous class, we were talking about the time contrast and how to talk about things that were in the past, in the present, now in the future. And today we're going to be discussing consequences. Okay, so to start this, we're going to be looking at these perspectives. Okay, so we're going to be listening and reading to some possible consequences of getting a high paying job. Okay? So you can say what you agree with. So let's listen and read.
Page 61. Exercise 8. Perspectives. Making the Big Bucks. Part A. Listen to some possible consequences of getting a high-paying job. Check the statements you agree with.
If you get a high-paying job, your friends might ask you for a loan. You'll have a lot of money to spend. More people may want to be your friend. You won't have much time for your family. You'll be able to buy anything you want. You won't be able to take long vacations. You'll have to pay higher taxes. You won't have to worry about the future.
Okay, very good. So we have multiple different consequences that we can get after getting a high paying job. It might sound like the best thing on the first look of it, like the first time that you think about it, but it can be something tricky. As you can see here, your friends might ask you for a loan if you get a high paying job. So they will, oh, would you have a lot of money? Come on, give me some of the money. And you will be like, hey, you're my friend. I love you and everything. But hey, don't take my whole arm. If you get a high paying job, you have a lot of money to spend. That is true. More people may want to be your friend. That is really true. Everywhere that you go, hey, let's be friends. Come on. Hey, you're rich. Pay me this, please. Never look those kind of people. If you get a high paying job, you won't have too much time for your family. That depends. Because if you make your time, you can have some time for your family. But it is true that if you get a high paying job, it usually needs a lot of time for you to dedicate to it. So it is true that you maybe won't have much time for your family. You will be able to buy anything you want. Well, if you want to buy, I don't know, a country, well, maybe you don't have enough money for that. Well, unless you're Jeff Bezos. If you're Jeff Bezos, yeah, you can. Okay. You won't be able to take long vacations. It depends on the job, actually. I would say that it depends on the job. You'll have to pay higher taxes, or not taxes at all if you're a corrupt politician. Okay, yeah, very good. Next one. You won't have to worry about the future. I don't know what happens with rich people, but after they get like a really large amount of money, they have more money that their children and grandchildren will be able to spend, but they want still to get more money and more money. I don't get why. But yeah, I suppose that they worry about the future. I don't know. If you give me a lot of money, I'm sure I will not be worrying too much about the future. I will just have my life sorted out, and maybe my children, more or less. Okay, very good. Now, what we were seeing here, it's an if clause conditional. Like here we are having this sentence: if you get a high paying job, it's a possible situation and things that can happen. That is exactly what we're going to be seeing with the grammar focus for today: conditional sentences with if clauses. Okay, so as always, I have some material for you. Okay, the conditional sentences works like this: we have an if clause and then a main clause, or we have a main clause and then an if clause. But what is this? Well, basically, when we have an if clause, it's like a condition, something that if this happens, we will have this result. Okay? So we will start by saying, like, if I have a high paying job, that is the condition, and the result of that is that I won't have to worry for my future. Okay? So we have the condition and the result. And we can put it the other way around. We can say the result and then the condition. I won't have to worry about my future if I get a high paying job. Okay? Both of them are correct. Okay, so this is seems really easy on paper, but let's see some more things, okay? So, conditional sentences are also known as conditional clauses or if clauses. They are used to express that an action in the future will only happen if a certain condition is fulfilled or met by that time. Okay? So we have possible situations and consequences for that. If I fall in love, I will be happier. Always with a comma, okay? After each clause, you need to put a comma. If I am happier, I will work better. If I work better, I will be able to get a raise. If I get a raise, I may get married. If I get married, I will have a lot of kids. If I have a lot of kids, I might have more expenses. If I have more expenses, I won't be able to buy a new car. If I don't buy a new car, I will be so sad. So people don't fall. No, I mean, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. You should all fall in love. It's great. Okay, but yeah, as you can see here, we have different possible situations and the consequences for those situations. We can also write it in the other way around. I will be happier if I fall in love. Okay. Okay, this is the most typical structure used with possible future situations and consequences. We have the if word, a simple present sentence, plus the subject, then will or won't. Okay? If you eat candy, you will gain weight. That is the condition, and this is the consequence. Or we can say it the other way around, as I was saying. You'll gain weight if you eat candy. So you can change and put it how any way that you want. You just need to change the order. But you always use the commas. If you eat candy, you will gain weight. You will gain weight if you eat candy. We can also use may and might as consequences to show that the consequence is less likely. It's not so possible for it to happen, okay? If you eat candy, you may gain weight. If you might gain weight if you eat candy. So if you use may or might, it's like something less possible. It is possible, it is a possible consequence, but it's not like it's going to happen yes or yes. Because if you eat candy, I mean, if you eat one day candy, you're not gonna gain a lot of weight. But if you eat, it can happen, yes or no. Okay. We can express possibilities using will be able to. If you save some money, you will be able to travel. Okay. So we say a possibility. Okay. It's not that you're going to do that, but you will be able. You will have the power to do it, literally. We can express necessity using will have to. Okay. If you travel abroad, you'll have to get a visa. This is a consequence, but at the same time, a necessity, something that you need. And with this, we use will have to. Okay, very good. Now we know more in depth of this, and I hope that you find that easy and interesting. Now, let's see the ones on the book that now it's gonna be really easy. Okay? So, the conditional sentences with if clause. It's the possible situation in the present. If you get a high paying job, then you will have the consequence. You use future with will, may, or might. If you get a high paying job, you'll have more cash to spend. Or you'll have more cash to spend if you get a high paying job. You can put it in any way. If you have more cash to spend, you will be able to buy anything you want. If you can buy anything you want, you won't save your money. If you don't save your money, you may have to get a weekend job. If you have to get a weekend job, you might not have any free time. That is true. So, people, if you get a high paying job, don't buy a lot of things. Very good. So, yeah, now that I hope that you understand this part, we're gonna be looking at this exercise. Match the if clauses in column A with the appropriate consequence from column B. Okay, it's real easy. Take your time now to complete this, and then continue with the video when you finished. Okay, you finished? Let's check. Okay, so number one, if you eat less fast food, you might feel a lot healthier. If you walk to work every day, you'll stay in shape without joining a gym. If you don't get enough sleep, you won't be able to stay awake in class. If you change jobs, you may not like it better than your old one. If you don't study regularly, you may not learn to speak fluently, people, study. If you travel abroad, you'll be able to experience a new culture. Okay, if you have those answers, you're correct. Very good. Okay, let's continue. Now, we're gonna be having a word power right now. These are interesting, I always like them. Okay, so you're gonna be finding phrases from the list that usually go with each verb. Sometimes more than one answer is possible. So we have a club, a degree, a group, a gym, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, blah, 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 it's a word. And we have the verbs earn, get, join, spend, and feel. Take your time to put each one of these phrases with each one of these verbs, okay? So after you take your time, we are gonna check. Okay, you finished? Let's check. Okay, let's see. Well, you can earn a degree, earn money, earn your own money, or earn a living. You can get in shape, get into college, get work experience, get tired, or get stressed. You can join a club, join a group, or join a gym. You can spend money, spend energy, and spend time. You can spend the three of them actually at the same time. You can feel jealous, you can feel stressed, and you can feel tired. Okay? Very good. If you have those answers, very good for you. You are correct. Okay. And now the last thing for the day, it's going to be a reading. Agua Viva, fighting for a future. Interesting. Okay. First of all, as always, take your time to read this part right here. Now, after you read this, oh, it's okay. So yeah, you can read all of this that's part of the reading, and then finish right here. And after you read all of this, let's do these two activities. Okay. So after reading the article, you need to answer these questions. Okay. Why did young people start living Agua Viva? How did Luis Bricio try to attract people to Agua Viva? How did the school change after the year 2000? What kinds of new jobs were there in Agua Viva? What problems did the families from Argentina and Romania have? Okay, so if you want, you can even go back to the video and read it again, but take your time to answer these questions. After you finish, continue with the video. Okay, you finished? Let's check. So, why did young people start leaving Agua Viva? Well, young people started leaving Agua Viva because they wanted more opportunities. Number two, Bricio attracted people to Agua Viva by offering a home, a job, free healthcare, and education for at least 5 years to families with 2 children under the age of 12. The village school went from having 37 students to more than 80 in 3 years. Agua Viva had new jobs for builders repairing old houses and factory workers making car parts. Families from Argentina had to get used to living in a small village with little public transportation. Families from Romania had to learn a new language. They all missed their families and friends back home. Very good. Now let's do the second part. Who would make the following comments? Choose the correct words from the box. Okay, so in the text we have different basically comments of different people, and you need to sort them. I'm not going back home because life is better here. I can't stay here. There are no jobs for people of my age. I'm going to make this village a better place. I love having all these kids around me. I don't feel so old. We have Luis Bricio elderly people from Agua Viva, new immigrants, and young people from Agua Viva. Okay, very good. So after you finish doing this activity, let's check the answers. So the number 1 is new immigrants, number 2 is young people from Agua Viva, number 3 is Luis Bricio, and number 4 is elderly people from Agua Viva. If you have those answers, you are correct. Very good. Okay, this has been everything for today. I hope that you liked this video, and on the next class we're gonna be seeing the unit 10. Okay, so I hope that you look forward for it or to it. Okay, this is everything for today. See you on the next time. Bye.